Today in the studio, folks, like every other day, dude, all I bring is treats. I got another treat for you. Logan Sneed in the house. What's cracking, Logan?
What's going on, man?
Now, dude, if you guys haven't heard of Logan Sneed, you're about to. Cancer survivor. Wrote a book called basically Thank You Cancer. Crossed out the fuck part. Everybody's heard fuck cancer. Yeah, so thank you cancer. You're thanking it. Your book is literally called Thank You Cancer, 30 Days to Realize Nothing is Impossible. The story is you had brain cancer?
Yes, sir.
And then now you don't?
I don't believe I do. Doctors don't know, but I don't believe I do.
Doctors don't know.
That's the confusing thing. Their brain cancer is so like complicated that they'll never.
Well, they either know or they don't know. Which one is it?
I think it's they don't want to tell me that it's a no. And
because they told you that you had it and now you don't?
Well, so the whole thing was removed. So it's 100% tumor removed. And so they can't find anything, but like legally or like, for that sense, they can't say like, oh yeah, you're cancer free. It's so just microscopical and complicated that they don't know, but 100% I believe it's all gone.
So let's go back to the story.
Yeah.
You were a young kid. You're still a young kid. How old are you?
24.
Okay. So how old were you?
I was 20 years old, about to turn 21.
Okay, and you were running around where? What part of the world?
I was sophomore year of college, about the middle.
Were you a good kid? Were you running around getting drunk, smoking weed, getting laid?
I actually never really drank at all. It never really like attracted me or smoking or any of that stuff. So I thought I was healthy.
Yeah, but you weren't a partier though.
No, not really.
You're like a well-raised, responsible young adult, unlike I was.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I thought I was healthy, but I never was attracted to like that sort of stuff.
So you were at college, and then what, did you feel to make you go to the doctor?
Yeah, so it was the middle of a spring break of my sophomore year, and I don't know what it was, but I've never in my life thought about FaceTiming while I was driving, and suddenly I was like, you know what? I'll just call my girlfriend and FaceTime her. And this was the girlfriend that I had at the time. And so I was driving and I was like FaceTiming. I was like, hey, how's it going? Like, hope your day is amazing. Just want to stop by. Like, it's a great day. It's amazing. And then suddenly I started slurring my words and I couldn't say what I wanted to say. So I was losing my ability to speak and it was sitting here in my mind. I couldn't get it out. And it was the weirdest feeling of my life. And she started kind of laughing and I was like I was trying to spit it out and then suddenly I had a seizure and I was driving my car and she watched the whole thing happen. And so I drove half a mile unconscious. And of course, she was freaking out. Her mom was on the thing. Her sister was there. And I almost had a near-death experience in the car wreck, but thankfully drove off into the ditch and I was unconscious. And so they knew where I was going, thankfully, but that was like a life-changing moment. And I've never had a seizure in my life, and I had a seizure, and she watched the whole thing happen. So,
but when you came to from the seizure, you didn't realize what had happened. You didn't say, "I've got glioplastical melanomas."
I had no idea what happened. It was the weirdest feeling of my life. I went unconscious, and then I didn't wake up till I was in the hospital, and they had to break into the car and break the windows because the whole thing was locked. So I woke up in the hospital. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I was like, what's going on? And they had no idea what was going on. So then my parents were like, can you tell us an answer? They're like, do you guys think he's on drugs or anything? And they're like, no, he's never done that in his life. So they had to drug test me and analyze. And they're like, we just don't know. We just don't know what's going on. And so then one doctor was like, well, hold on. We think there's something potentially going on in his brain that we may have to scan to see what's going on here. And they're like, yeah, just do it, whatever. So literally the next day I went to go get an MRI because that's what I had to do. And in the MRI, it came back and they were like, okay, there's something going on in here. And they saw on the scan, it was a full egg. So the perfect size of an egg is exactly what was in there. And again, I never really looked in, it never hit me deep as far as what this could be. I thought it was just kind of another, doctor's appointment or going to the hospital and then, get it fixed up and then you're done. So suddenly I had to go see a neurologist. The neurologist was like, okay, whoa, this thing's pretty big. Okay. You might want to go see a brain surgeon. So, and still I'm just kind of like brushing it off like it's not that really big of a deal. So then literally the next day I go see a surgeon.
Not a big deal after getting told you need a brain surgeon.
Yeah. Well, see, I never in my life, I never thought bad things like that would happen to me. Cause I had a quote unquote, a very great life and just nothing really like that would ever strike me that, you know, it could really lead to something really horrific.
Well, just FYI, anything in the brain that you need surgery for or the heart, that's some serious shit.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't realize it until I went to go see this surgeon, and we go there with my parents, and I was like, hey, Mr. Surgeon, whatever, meeting him. And then he goes, hey, Logan, it's really good to meet you, but just want you to know that like potentially after this surgery that you might not be able to speak or hear again. You cool with that? And of course I'm like, what? So my heart like sunk, like I had no idea what was going on. And so thankfully, my parents, they have very hard nose of like, you know what, hold on. Like this guy doesn't seem like he really is going to do what it takes to make the most of this. So we left there and my mom was like, you know what? Like, I don't know about that guy because first off, he said he's going on vacation for 2 weeks and then we'll do the surgery when he gets back, if I'm still alive by then. And secondly, he was already coming to a conclusion before it even started. So he's basically saying, I'm going to kind of, half-ass it and hopefully it works, but we'll see. And so she was like, you know what, we're going to get somebody better. So thankfully, my uncle works, he worked for Ross Perot's company. And so Ross Perot has donated like millions and millions of dollars to MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. And so because of that, he was connected with the #1 brain surgeon in the world, Dr. Raymond Sawaya. Anyone can look him up. Like he is the best of the best. And so we went to go see him. We went to Houston. Now, when I met this guy, I was like, hey, look, doctor, like, am I going to be able to speak and hear after this thing? Because we really got to figure this thing out. And he's like, dude, if I'm doing the surgery, you're going to be fine. Don't sweat it. I was like, whoa. I was like, two dudes doing the same job, two completely different mindsets and two completely different outcomes.
Well, one of them went to closer school.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. But yeah, so then we went into this thing and he was like, hey, I want you to know, like, we're going to have surgery tomorrow. And I was like, whoa, like brain surgery. He's like, yeah, we got to get this thing really popping quick. So literally that whole day.
By this time, no one said it's cancer?
No one said it's cancer. Like, no, like.
They just said it's a brain tumor.
They called it a mass. And so they didn't want to take it too far. They didn't want to kind of, sugarcoat it. But it was at MD Anderson Cancer Center. And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm not a cancer patient. I was like, that's not me. But hey, I'll go here if that's what's needed, but that's not me. So we go into this thing, literally the next day, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. We got to get there as soon as possible. And we're driving in the dark and everything. And now I get, led to the little bed they put you on.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, slaughterhouse, exactly. And they go in there, they bring in a pastor. We start doing our prayers. And
holy moly.
It's serious. Like, it's like this thing is in like, hey, God forbid something happens, like, wish you the best.
Well,
and
sure.
So I'm signing documents. I'm like doing all these things. And then, of
Where's
course,
your parents?
They're there with me. My mom was.
Is everybody crying?
Yeah. My mom, I think she was over there. I don't know if she was crying. She's very tough, like super tough. My girlfriend at the time was definitely crying. And then my dad was there. He was having to be, Mr. Tough Guy, which he is. And then it was really weird. They started like, okay, guys, we gotta start get going. So now they start taking me through this like hallway. You see like in the movies, and it's like very like, it's like cinematic. It's like you're going into a war zone, like a bomb center or whatever. So they push me in there and they start trying to like act like I'm all like, they're trying to make me happy. And so they take me into this room and I see, like a press box in a football game. You see those offensive coordinators and everything up there. And I see these doctors with their masks on, already strapped up through these windows. And they're like typing in the stuff then I'm like, all right, this is getting interesting. So anyways, I go in there and then they start injecting me with medicine to get me knocked out. So it was a 7-hour brain surgery. It took a very long time. And they said, hey, we're going to wake you up in the middle of this surgery and we're going to start asking you some questions. And I was like, okay. And they're like, the reason we're doing this is because we just want to make sure that if you can't speak or hear, that we cut it short and we kind of leave the remains of the tumor in there, because usually that's what happens in these tumors. 99% of the time, these tumors don't get fully removed, but we're going to do the best we can and we'll keep you updated and see how it goes. So boom, they knock me out. Then they wake me up and they start asking me questions, and I'm just trying to answer these things like perfectly. It's like, okay, what's your brother's name? Where do you live? Who's president right now? Like all these sort of things. And I was able to answer them completely fine. And I remember exactly those moments, and that was it. Then they knocked me back out. And then after the surgery, the recovery was like super fast. I mean, I was basically out of the hospital in less than 2 days. And the guy came back and he was like, all gone, 100% tumor removed. It's all good. And so I suddenly was like, oh, sweet. Life goes on. Like, it's all good. And so I just kind of brushed it off and was like, get me out of here. Let's, push through it. And so they're like, okay, but hold on. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to have to come back and give you the diagnosis. I was like, all right, cool. That's fine. It's all gone. And so 2 weeks go by. Well, excuse me, a week goes by. And what happens is suddenly the doctors accidentally, out of the blue, they email my mom the diagnosis. And that was a huge, huge mistake, like legally, like ethically, everything. So my mom sees the email. She starts freaking out, calls me into their office at home, and we go in there. And so the doctor's like, oh my God, we did not mean to do this. Like, this is totally a mistake by us. Like,
HIPAA violation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was bad. And like, honestly,
it's like something Information Privacy Act.
Yeah.
HIPAA
Yeah.
violation.
I mean, it could have been sued pretty bad, but she kind of diagnosed it, and we're just kind of sitting there. And I just literally felt like, I told my dad, I was like, what's the point of like living? Like, what's the point of all this? And so about less than a week later, we go to the doctor. Now this is where it gets really bad. We go to the doctor.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
You have a little issue. You go in, they take your MRI. They say you have a tumor. Mm-hmm. They go in almost instantly and cut it out. Mm-hmm. And then they come back with a diagnosis.
They do. And
why would they cut something out before diagnosing it?
Because they have to look at the tumor and they have to analyze, like, okay, is this a cancerous tumor? Is this stage 4, 3, 2, or 1? Is it malignant or is it benign?
So what'd they say when they came back? What was it?
Yeah. So that's when we go into this office and this lady comes in and she goes, hey, Logan, it's great to meet you. I just want you to know that this tumor is a stage 4 glioblastoma brain tumor. And I hate to say it, but this is uncurable. We really can't do anything about this. And your life expectancy is about 1 to 10 years. And I was like, so we can't do anything? And she's like, well, we're going to try chemotherapy. We'll try radiation, but that's really about it. We really can't do anything about this. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. Of course, my parents are still very like keeping their calm. And so my dad goes, hold on. So you're telling my son, like, we can't do anything about this? Like, there's nothing we can do. Like, you're telling him that he can go eat a burger and maybe drink a beer, and then that's not going to affect anything on this? And she was like, yes, sir, that's what I'm telling your son. And he was like, okay, I'm not sure if I understand that. So there's nothing we can do. And so the whole diagnosis goes by. And
well, hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Is your dad into fitness or something?
Yeah, I mean, he's into health. I mean, he's not a super health fanatic. He's just a good dude. Like, he does regular eating. Like, it's not. But
it's just an odd question if the doctor just said your kid has brain cancer, incurable brain cancer. Someone would say, wait a minute, you're telling him he can go have a burger and a beer?
Yeah. Well, he was just in his mind thinking like, okay, should he stop eating sugar, or at least like maybe stop, eating.
So what he was doing was searching for an alternative.
Exactly.
An option, which as would probably any dad freaking out that his kid's got issue like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He was looking for just a solution. Like my parents have that mindset that's like, okay, there's a problem, but there's a solution. There's a solution to every problem. It just depends on how you want to see it.
Yep.
And so that's what his mindset was, and which I'm very super grateful for. And so once I get diagnosed, like I left there and literally like I felt like 100 pounds was on my back. Like I didn't know, like I was like, well, geez, I mean, what's the point of even being alive? Like if some of the smartest people in the world are saying we can't do anything, then what is there to do? And it took about a week or so to really understand like there is something. And just because they're the smartest people doesn't mean that they have all the answers to everything, because they don't. And so I didn't really know what to do. And suddenly I went paddleboarding this one day with one of my really good friends, and he was asking kind of how I was doing. And I was like, yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I might not even be alive in the next few months. I don't know. And so he was like, well, you should really try this new diet. And it was the ketogenic diet. And this is when like nobody knew what it was. Like, this is when it was completely out of the question. And I was like, oh, honestly, dude, like, I was like, I don't even know. Like, I mean, I'll look at it, I'll try it out, but I'll be honest with you. Like, she said there's nothing to do, but we'll see. So long story short, I literally stayed up till 3 a.m. that morning and just started going full throttle. And I was like, I'm going to do it. Like, whatever it is, I don't even know, but I'll make it work, whatever. So I did it the next day. I did it like full throttle. Now I focused on the quality of my food. I started doing obviously meditation, like mindset, quality of eating, intermittent fasting, all those sort of things. Now we're about 5 years later, and there's completely no tumor at all. Like, there's no traces of anything. I get MRIs every 4 months, and there's not a thing there. But to go off with that, like in the middle of all that stuff that I was doing, I started my business. Once I started the keto diet, my life started really changing. I lost like probably 50 pounds. And
You used to be a fatty?
I wasn't a fatty. I was a bulky.
You were a thickie?
I was a bulky guy. I was like those muscular.
You're like me. You're just big bone.
Yeah, like you, swole, right? Yeah. No, I was like those guys in the gym who like want to look swole. They want to be swole. That's basically what I was. So I lost a lot of weight, and suddenly like I was showing it on social media, and people were like, what the heck are you doing? I was like, I don't know. It's this thing like this keto diet. And they're like, whoa, that thing seems to be working. I was like, yeah, I guess so. It is. So I kept getting so many questions, and I was like, all right, well, look, I was like, I'm going to start a business. And so I did, and suddenly it started really taking off. And then at the time when I was in school, I was telling my girlfriend at the time, I was like, hey, look, the goal is to be able to drop out of college. I'm going to do this thing. Okay. When we're done, whatever, like, think life's going to go on, and not, like, money is not a problem at all. And so of course that didn't really like register with her. And I totally kind of understand that. And suddenly just one day, like out of the blue, like I just got a long text message, and she was breaking up with me over a text after 4 years of being together. And I've never talked to her ever again. Not one time have I seen her. And that moment was like a super, super, like very difficult moment. Not only because it's a breakup, but because like, I felt like that's all I had left. And suddenly when that's all completely gone, and I was so focused on this business, I'm like, geez, like, I don't even really have any friends because I'm so focused on this. And my goal is to drop out of college. Now this is gone, and I don't even know if this whole diet thing, like, I don't even know if this is going to work. So that was another like moment of like, okay, we got to really do something about this. So anyways, I dropped out of college because the business was going well enough for me to do so. And I went to go back to live with my family for a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to focus on this and this alone. And that's it. Nothing else. So
business.
Yeah, just the business. And so I just focused on the business. It went really, really well. I built it up to hit over $500,000 in about a year and a half. And that's what really accelerated my whole, obviously my career and what I do and everything. It really achieved my dreams of being able to drop out of college. Like, that was my dream. As soon as I got there, it was like, I'm going to drop out one day. I don't know when or how, but it will happen.
That's a goal.
That was a goal.
Your parents must have been proud.
They were proud. They say, hey, look, you're not going to drop out until you can prove to us that you have the money and or the business to be able to do so. So that was proof right there. But it wasn't easy as far as like, okay.
Why'd you want to drop out though?
I always wanted to be my own boss. Like, I just never wanted to go work for somebody.
College isn't work.
College isn't what?
College isn't work.
No, it's not work, but
But your goal was to drop out of college. Why is that a goal?
Because I wanted, like, I felt like there was better ways of learning what I wanted to learn. And I felt like, for example, my degree was in entrepreneurship. I was like, wow, that's a sweet degree. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I started going in there and I'm like, learning this. I'm like, all right, like, this math has nothing to do with starting an actual business. It's completely irrelevant. So I'm like, this is such a waste. So then this whole thing popped up, actually, which is like, again, one of those things where it's like a great thing. And that's not the reason I wanted to, but I just always wanted to become an entrepreneur. I didn't know how or what, but I always wanted to start my own business. And that's what this really accelerated. And that's where this business, like, really took off. I started going, viral back in the new days of like what the keto diet was. And, it was like incredibly successful. And then suddenly, like, I've now shifted to coach people and now how to build their own online coaching business. And then, I wrote my book, Thank You Cancer, about my whole journey overcoming brain cancer and why it's not always, fuck you cancer. It's, thank you cancer. It's this whole new mindset that the horrible things that we experience doesn't mean it's the worst things, or that I truly believe they happen for a reason. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of, you put that all together. That's my journey of overcoming brain cancer.
Well, you're not out of the woods yet, are you?
In what way would you say?
Well, that you said that they don't know if it's back.
My belief is that it's never coming back. Their belief is you can't really do anything and hopefully it doesn't come back. In their mindset, they say it's coming back. My mindset, it's completely not coming back. It's been 5 years and there's not a single thing. So it's two different mindsets, but it's on the same project.
So you believe your diet is the cause or your belief?
Cause of the tumor or fixing of the tumor to not let it come back?
Either one. I mean, obviously food causes cancer in some cases.
Yeah.
Medicines, things that we're taking, pesticides, and then sometimes it's just, some sort of messed up DNA.
Yeah, definitely. So the question is like, where did the tumor come from? And that's another thing. It's like doctors like, we have no idea. It's like, it's not in your DNA. We don't know what happened. Like we're not sure. And so we had to do our own research. It's kind of, it's not coincidental, but it's like, I think it's the reason is I was in 7th grade. I was playing on like a 9th grade basketball team. And in the middle of the game, this guy was trying to dunk. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to let him dunk. And of course, I was the young kid on the team. I took a charge for this guy, and I got elbowed as he's going up, and I got my head just boom plowed into the ground, straight into the wood. And I had a horrible. My eye was swollen shut for like 2 weeks. It was a huge injury, and I think that was the first original cause of the tumor, because the tumor was there for 6 years in my head, and I had no idea. I had no clue. It was there for 6 years, and that event was 6 years ago. Now you add to that, I was doing phone calls to my left side of my brain, for obviously all those years. That doesn't help. Thirdly, with that, I was going through a time where I was like, all right, I'm going to gain size. I'm going to get swole. And I started eating like 4,000 calories a day. I was eating a fat load of sugar. It was just a snowball effect. And that just kind of basically put more fuel to the fire for the tumor. And then I started training like twice a day, up at 5 a.m. with 6 hours of sleep as a teenager. And it just caused so much inflammation, so much stress in the body, horrible recovery. And then again, that just what basically took it from, I think, a little benign tumor to now a fully malignant, worst tumor that you possibly could ever get. So.
But they cut it out.
They cut it out, 100%.
And then after they cut it out, you decided to go on keto.
Correct.
You're obviously still on it.
I am.
Are you a strict keto or to me, there's 2 ketos. There's a I can eat bacon keto, and then there's a good fat, low bacon type keto. Which one are you?
I'm definitely the strict one, in the sense of like quality of food is more important to me than, okay, am I getting this amount of fat and this many carbs and this? Because a lot of people say like, oh, it's about this many carbs and fat, but I can eat cheese and bacon at McDonald's and that's fine.
Well, technically you can, if you're just measuring the what are they called? Macros.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're looking for numbers, go for it. But I think it's way more important to go for food quality. And that's exactly what I go for. Is 100% organic.
Do you eat meat?
I do. Grass fed.
Sugar?
No sugar.
Zero sugar.
Zero sugar.
What's your substitute?
In what way? Like,
what should people substitute for sugar?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So an example would be like, I love ice cream. There is keto ice cream, and there are ways of making it that's dairy free, which is what I do. There's, Reese's cups, like, candy or like chocolate bars or whatever. There's also like keto Reese's cups. And I think these are actually really healthy. They're basically like 5 ingredients, no sugar, no nothing. And then there's like, regular bread, and then there's keto bread. And there's very quality keto bread. There's some not so quality, but there's always like a substitute for everything in the diet, like in every way possible. And that's what makes it really easy. But I think, again, people should look at the quality before they look at, oh, what's a cool snacky thing I can have in this stuff to make it work. So I think, again, the quality is absolutely crucial.
So if people are listening to this and they find out they have cancer, should they be calling you to do this keto, or do you just work with anyone trying to get fit?
I used to do that. But now I coach people in building their online fitness business.
So the Fitpreneur,
yeah.
Fusion Lean, is that yours?
Fitpreneuracademy.com is the site. And then my fitness one is the fusionlean.com. But essentially, I think like the biggest thing for people is if they're going through a cancer journey, I think definitely reading the book is huge, because it goes through exactly how I shifted my mindset from like how cancer is this horrible thing and it's going to kill me to, wait, now this actually is probably one of the best things that's happened to me in my life. Because I wouldn't have achieved, my 7-figure business now. I wouldn't have built the business. I would probably have never met you, never would maybe not listen to your thing, or I don't know where my life would be. So that's why I wrote the book, in the sense of like, hey, these are actually like some good things that can actually happen to you, and how you approach these things and where you take it. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously that's an assumption though. We all make assumptions. Like if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. That's not necessarily true, but likely. Because if everything in your life didn't happen, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. I think, anyway.
For sure.
I mean, I think, you leave 5 minutes later from your house and you get in a car accident. Someone says, man, if I'd have left 5 minutes earlier, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Well, but maybe if you'd have left 5 minutes earlier, you'd have got killed by a bus. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's those things that, like, if I didn't go to the gym and FaceTime my ex-girlfriend at the time, I have no clue. It's just those things that's like, there's a lot of things that you can control a lot of things. You can control how you react and how you approach things, but you can't necessarily control the person who drove drunk and suddenly hit your car out of the blue. And so that's why in that book, it's like, we don't know what we're going to be dealt. We don't know what cards are coming our way, but it's how you want to respond to those cards. It's like the game of poker, right? It's like somebody dealt this card and now you have to change up how you're going to deal this next one. And it's a new thing you always have to react to. And so that's my whole approach as to why I, title it "Thank You Cancer" in that.
What do you think the symptom was? The FaceTime episode, or that's, because I find myself doing that sometimes. I just did it a second ago. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't slur though. So what was the symptom? Slurring? So
there's a lot of symptoms. My symptom, and I didn't know it, was like headaches every day. I had terrible headaches for 6 years straight. And I just thought I had to be, Mr. Tough Guy and just kind of like squeeze my head and just kind of soak it in, take some Advil, and then life goes on. So that's a huge symptom, is like headaches regularly. One is a seizure. I had a seizure that was just out of the blue. Another one can be dizziness. Another one can be feeling weak. Another one can be like very fatigued. Another one can be, slurring of the words leading to potential seizure. Or having a short-term, not short-term memory loss, but it's like, you're like, oh crap, like what's that word? Like, I know it. And then you like, it's like right there in your mouth. You just can't get it out. So it's like a little short-term memory thing. But people can have all of those things that come from different things, but those are symptoms of tumors in general.
Were you worried about COVID?
Honestly, no, not at all.
Do you wear masks everywhere you go?
Well, I have to.
Yeah, where you have to, you're allowed to. But people always ask me, hey, when are you coming back to the gym with us? I'm not going to breathe hard in a mask, period.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can work out outside. There's a million things you can do. Your mouth is an exhaust system.
Yeah.
And if you plug up an exhaust on your car and drive it, what do you think is going to happen?
It's going to blow up.
Well, it wouldn't blow up, but it'd break down.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend people go work out with masks on. But that's just me. Call me conspiracy theorist.
Oh, I've gotten in so much trouble. I mean, I've not gotten in trouble from the guy who runs the gym, but like I've had this lady report me every day. Sir, he's not covering his nose. Can you please go talk to this guy? And he's like, hey, dude, look.
Which again, stupid, because these masks are not, they're not N95 masks. They're not even, those aren't even compliant. Otherwise, when people have those massive breaches, you wouldn't see them show up in hazmats. Why? Well, just throw a bandana around your mouth, bro.
Yeah.
Just make sure you cover your nose. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
Get on in there. No, they're not going to, because the masks don't work.
No.
Period. So especially your nose is uncovered. Dude, if my breath makes this place toxic or possibly toxic, I'll just stay out of the place. Like if my breath isn't welcome, dude, I won't be there.
Yeah.
Now, as far as keto, dude, I personally like the keto, but I'm not really keto. Like I don't want to do the bacon and the fat and the like, grease because I can. And that's what's cool about it, by the way, because like you can, but I believe in the healthy keto, which is more like a paleo, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I do is I call it paleo keto, not keto. And I don't even call it like a diet. I just focus on like, is this a quality food? Is this something that I can eat?
But no sugar and no carbs.
No carb. Well,
not no carbs, no complex carbs or no simple carbs. Which one's in an apple?
Well, so like,
and by the way, that's simple sugars. That's not good for you either. Keto says no sugar.
Yeah. I mean, so for 5 years straight, like again, I've been doing everything I can, like literally everything I possibly can to never let this thing come back. To like, I'm not trying to prove the doctor's wrong. I'm just trying to show myself what's possible. So for 5 years straight, I literally have not had a single cheat meal. I've not had a single sugar snack. I haven't even had fruit for 5 years. I've had the vitamins and minerals to get that, but I haven't even had fruit for 5 years. So like my carbs, quote unquote, is basically nuts, avocado, and greens, cruciferous vegetables. That's it. Nothing else.
What vegetables?
Cruciferous vegetables.
Oh, cruciferous. Have you ever heard of sprouts?
Absolutely.
Sprouting?
Brussels sprouts?
All kinds of sprouts.
Yeah.
Alfalfa sprouts.
I haven't had those. Brussels sprouts I have.
Broccoli sprouts.
Yeah.
They're sprouts.
Yeah.
Sprouts are what happened before the vegetable grows.
Yeah.
But supposedly sprouts, I got a guy coming up here next week that is a sprout master, and he says sprouts is the key. Sprouts will cure everything.
It's crazy because like the carnivore thing, man, like it's insanely like, I don't know. I've never like changed my like approach to what I do because obviously it's worked, but there's so many like, oh, well the plants is going to cure the cancer. And then now there's like, oh, now plants will cause your cancer. And it's like, what do you do?
Who says that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've heard of like, the carnivore approach, the carnivore diet. There's a lot of, people who really believe that it's people should only eat meat and meat only, and that's it. And
like Michaela Peterson?
Sounds familiar.
You don't know Michaela Peterson?
I know Paul Saladino.
You know Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson. Yeah.
It's his daughter.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
She only eats, I think she called it rudimentary meat and salt.
Yeah.
Beef specifically. Beef and salt.
Yeah.
If it's not beef, she won't eat it. And it supposedly cured all these ailments she has. Of course, everybody's like, calling it full of shit. But then again, let me look at her results. But so that's where I was going with keto. Like sometimes when I eat regular, I get heartburn, like just heartburn. But as soon as I do keto, energy goes up, no heartburn. I never feel full and bloated and lethargic. I just feel good and energetic and healthy.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to the keto diet.
What's a day of eating look like for you?
Well, it depends on the day, but I wake up and I have this little coffee / this called functional fats.
Uh-huh.
I just drink one of those and I'm not even hungry till about 1. And then at 1 o'clock, I'll just eat something that's ultimately asparagus, some sort of meat, because I like meat. And then, generally anything I can figure out fat. So like some sort of MCT oil, anything omega-3s, anything that I can get the fats, nuts, almonds, a little handful of that. And then I eat. And then dinner's probably about the same type of thing. And then that's it. Now at night when I get a sweet tooth, I'll have Jell-O and sugar-free whipped cream.
Oh, nice.
I'll have berries and whipped cream. And that's about it. Now I will cheat, like after 15, 20 days, you're supposed to, according to true ketogenic diet, carb load. So I'll go have 5 guys and shit like that for a day, but then boom, right back on it. Just ultimately, man, I'm just looking at no breads, no real sugars.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not too worried about carbs only because, asparagus has carbs, vegetable has carbs, but I eat below the amounted or the allotted amount.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm technically keto. If I, take one of those strips,
Yeah,
I'm in ketosis.
that's awesome. How long have you been kind of doing that?
Off and on for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things that like, I have no idea what would happen if I had one of your like cheat day things. Like
you would enjoy the day.
I would enjoy it, but that's another thing is that like,
well, you had a big scare, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
it's very
I haven't
unknown.
had a scare yet. Like I smoke cigars, dude. But if all of a sudden I thought I had some sort of throat cancer, dude, I don't give a rat's ass. I ain't smoking a cigar. I don't care how good it is. I don't care who's trying to get me to do it. I'm done.
Yeah.
But that's when you have a big scare. You have that advantage.
Yeah. That's what makes it easy to not cheat.
Oh yeah.
But it's interesting because I've like,
You'll never have a piece of pizza?
See, I don't know.
Yes or no?
I have no idea.
You can. Cauliflower crust, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that for sure.
Because again, cheese is okay.
Yeah.
Cauliflower crust pizza from
It's super
California
good.
Pizza Kitchen. I should get a freaking advertising sponsor. Dude, I'm telling you, it's good. You can't even tell.
I didn't know they had that at California Pizza Kitchen.
That's the only place that it's actually good. Like the crust tastes like pizza.
Huh.
I've had cauliflower pizza from like other places, and it's not really that good. But the one at California Pizza Kitchen,
Yeah.
straight keto, bro. They also have keto bowls now, and keto's getting big.
It is getting big. And I was in the industry for a long time and I loved it. It got to a point where like I was one of the first like influencers in that space.
Really, dude? You're only fucking 24.
Dude, I was
Shit's been going on forever. What were you, an influencer at 9?
well, no. It was more of like when like okay, Instagram specifically.
How long has keto been going, Tracy Dews?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That like 100 years ago, though, dude. You were in diapers.
I definitely wasn't alive, but like in the Instagram world, there was like I never saw any influencer, and I was one of the first, and that's what like really accelerated it. And then over the years, it just got bigger, and now there's like hundreds and thousands of keto influencers, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of wane out and kind of now take this approach to my business and coach people in becoming their own coach. And so that's why I love that approach, whereas now I can kind of like oversee how things are going. It doesn't really like affect me in my business or anything. So it makes it a little bit more fun in that sense.
What's your workout routine?
So I wake up like 6 a.m. I do work for an hour and then I go straight to the gym, work out, or I run 1 mile and I just do it really. I mean, I wouldn't say as fast as I can, but pretty quick. And then I'll do about a 30 to 45 minute workout of like high intensity, medium weight. And then after that, I'm literally done. It's like less than an hour. And then I still do intermittent fasting throughout the day. So like I work out in the morning and I stay fasting and then I eat like probably it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. So till then I'm still going and really like making sure that I'm fasted and starving cancer, quote unquote. And that's why I do fasting with it. So
there's something with that fasting, I think, too.
Oh, for sure.
Because like when animals get sick, they stop eating. Why? That's just nature saying, hey, wait a minute,
Yeah.
So I think there's something with that too.
Have you tried intermittent fasting?
Yeah, I do it every night.
You do?
Yeah.
How long do you fast?
All night.
How many hours is that?
However long I sleep. I mean, everybody intermittent fasts all night. That's why we have breakfast. It's called break fast.
Break fast, yeah.
Yeah, so everybody fasts every single day.
For sure. No, I was curious. I don't know if it was like 16 hours because they usually say that like, yeah, it is fasting, but the body doesn't actually like go through the fasting process unless it's 12 to 20 hours in the sense of.
Yeah, so like most people wake up and eat. I wake up and have that coffee with the functional fat, which is MCT oil.
Yeah.
It's like good stuff. It's not sugar. It's not crap. It's good. And it tastes like freaking like you're drinking some sort of cocoa. It's freaking good.
It is.
And then I'll just go about my day. And next thing I know, I'm just not hungry till about 1 or 2. Then I think, am I hungry? So literally it allows me to intermittent fast. However, if the functional fat itself eliminates the fasting part, which I think it does, well then, I'll have one of those at 6 a.m. So I'm not really fasting. But I know people that do, and they swear by it. It basically gives your body a chance to heal and, flush out and work more, effectively.
Yeah, that's why I do that is like.
But I know someone also, dude, that was on the best foods, cancer, and died. Dude, there was one guy I know, healthy as a sumbitch, ate perfect, never drank, never smoked, the epitome of health. One day he said, dude, feel this. I said, what? He's telling me to feel his chest. I'm like, dude, I don't feel people, especially dudes, all right? He's like, no, just feel this. I'm like, dude, I ain't feeling shit. So I look at my buddy. I'm like, you feel it. And so the dude reaches over and he takes his thumb and he does this on his chest.
Oh,
and he's like, oh, what is that? Little bump in there? Little bump? I was like, yeah, doesn't that feel weird? He says, yeah, what is that? What is that? Like a bump? It's just a bump. I said, what does it feel like? He said, like a small marble right there.
Mm.
Within 3 months, that dude was dead off a little bump. And he was totally healthy. Matter of fact, when that happened, they had just got done playing, 4 hours of tennis. Dude never smoked, never drank, all health, all perfect, no sugar, all this nutrition expert shit. Boom.
Did he go get it investigated?
Deader than a doornail. Yeah, he went in and got diagnosed as bone cancer and died within 3 months. Now, that's another thing. Like, I think your brain, your mind, once you start dreading this, oh my God, I might die and I might die. I think it has something to do with dwindling and deterioration.
It's huge. I think
somebody said it. Somebody asked me would you want to know if you were going to die? I don't think so. I don't want to know. Number one, I already know. Okay. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody that doesn't believe that is stupid. So we all know we're going to die, but yet we don't focus on it and we don't think about it. And it's just not even in front of us. When someone says, dude, you have cancer and you're going to die in 3 months, the wrong minds could literally accelerate that. That's what I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where my mind was going when she was like, hey, you have 1 to 10 years left to live. We can't do anything. I was like, you're right.
Yeah, but 1 to 10, that's huge, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's super broad.
Yeah, but 10 years, that's almost like, so I ain't going to die?
Yeah, it's
10
really
10 years, shit, did I get hit by a bus in 3 years? Like, dude, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it took my mindset from like, okay, I'm gonna be dead soon. And then over time I waned it back to like, no, what? Like I can do something. And now I've really that's another thing is like, yeah, diet's super important, but I genuinely think that the mindset can be even more important because if the diet is so important, which it is, but you don't have the mindset there, I really it's almost making it like not worthless in that diet, but you're not living a life that you want within those years to get to where you want to go.
So how did this lead into your business? I don't see the connection. Normally it's like, so I learned this, so now my life is spent teaching other people. But you're teaching them how to start an online coaching, or what is it? Training business, personal training, or what?
Yeah. So my goal is to help people become happy, healthy, and wealthy. And that's going to take a lot of years. So it's not something you just do.
Are you happy, healthy, and wealthy?
I am.
How much wealth do you have?
Well, I'm almost a millionaire, so.
Not bad
getting
for
there.
your age, I guess.
Almost getting there.
It's working, though.
Absolutely.
And you want to share that with others.
Absolutely.
Do you do it straight by teaching people how to do it?
Yeah, for sure. So I coach people and helping them become healthy. And I was like, you know what? It was a great stage in my life is helping them become healthy. I was like, okay, now I want to help people become wealthy. And here's how I can do it. And so instead of completely going from, doing a whole 180 and a whole new business approach, I was like, I'm going to coach people on how to change lives. I was like, I've done it this way. Now I'll do it this way. And so if I can help people make a lot of money and help them become financially free, then what that's doing is it's helping other people change their own life with their own health. So it's almost like a snowball effect in that. And that's why I really love that passion is helping people achieve financial freedom. Because a lot of people want to start their business. I always wanted that. And they think it's, again, one of those things is they think it's impossible. And the quote that I took away from the whole diagnosis and the whole journey of overcoming this was, it's the quote by Nelson Mandela, where it always seems impossible until it is done. And so when I really brought all that stuff together and now coaching these people and becoming wealthy, it's I want them to truly achieve what people think is not possible. And that's why it's my new passion, what I do.
Who's your ideal customer?
people who want to coach people in seeing results, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, I would say those are the people that are looking to build online, have more free time, financial freedom, and change lives for a living. That's the ideal client.
Do you have testimonials?
I have a ton of them.
So there's a ton of people you've helped achieve.
At least, yeah, I've helped tons of people hit at least 10 to 20, 30,000 a month.
Not bad, especially laptop lifestyle. Kicking back, kind of being your own boss.
For sure. Yeah. And I think, it's not as easy just kicking back, but it's a lot of work. And that's why I respect the people who are willing to put in the work. That's why I'm like, okay, I want to help you really succeed in life, because not many people are willing to do what you're willing to do.
I would think, though, the passion would be the keto diet, because that's what you believe is keeping you from doom.
Definitely it is. But I feel like, again, there's more to what I have to do in my life than just the diet. And my long-term goal is to, become the next Brad Lee, the next Grant Cardone.
Raise your goals, son. Raise your goals.
In those senses, right? Like, cause I want to really change lives and show people what's really possible in all facets. And that's why, again, the book is called that, because again, if I can change my diet, if I can try and save my life in this sense, and now I can become financially free, and now I can write a book and do these things, then anything that anybody wants in their life is truly possible. And I want to show you how that is.
Got the bombs. There's one right there.
There we go.
You had a few other ones, though.
Yeah.
But that's a bomb. Say that again.
Yeah. Anything that we all want in our life is truly possible when we have the mindset and we really go out and actually take action. And that's one thing about like what's helped me succeed is like, I'm not the smartest guy in the school. I was an A/B student, but I'll go take action and I'll fail a million times until I get the one that succeeds. And that's what's really, I believe that people, they think that it's about the knowledge and like your skill set and these things. Like it's all developed by the action you take. And that's what I want to show people is I'm just an average Joe, but I can achieve these things. And so can you.
Where's your parents now?
My parents, they still live in Austin, and that's where I live. They live in Austin.
You live in Austin?
I do, downtown.
Did you just come through the nonsense?
Oh, jeez. It was a shit show. It was crazy.
Like no water, no power, no nothing. Was it scary? Did it make you realize like, shit, dude, life's fragile again?
It definitely was a moment of gratitude, but I honestly, like, I think it was one of those like adventurous things. Like I was like, wow, this will never happen. 1 in 100 years will this happen in Austin.
Were you out of power?
I was full out of power.
For how long?
No water. Mine was out for 2 days. Other people still, like some don't even still have it.
Did you get a sleeping bag or something?
So I had a friend, I was with some friends. We're all like, all right, where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Like, we don't know. So some friends went this way, some went that way, took their girlfriends and stuff. And then my friend and I were like,
definitely would have took my girlfriend.
Hey, single life can have benefits though for that. And so I ended up sleeping, on this couple's floor. I didn't even know who they were. It was with my friend. So I'm sleeping on the floor and it's like a hardwood floor I was sleeping on. And it was the most, not best sleep of my life, but it was most night. I was like, wow, I'm very grateful for my mattress that I have. So yeah, it was crazy going through that.
Where can people get the book?
They can just look up on Amazon, Thank You Cancer, or logansneed.com is also another platform as well for it.
Logan Sneed, you have a brother named Sam, don't you?
Well,
I'm joking.
There is a Sam Sneed out
Sneed.
there.
I know that.
Yeah. Not my brother though.
Yee. Well, dude, listen, man, I'm glad you came through that all right. And I hope that shit don't come back.
It won't.
Well, good. You keep believing that. And let's hope that is the case. Because I believe sugar and eliminating it should be like the government acts like they care we got to wear masks. Why don't they fucking eliminate sugar? Sugar is 100% guaranteed factual to cause cancer. So why don't they ban sugar if they care so much?
Yeah.
You know, there was studies where, let's say World War II, Germans came in and took over a town and they confiscated the basically animal products and gave it to the troops. So the villagers only had plants and vegetables to eat. The cancer rate in that town dropped significantly for the 2 or 3 years or however long it was that those troops were there taking all of their animal products. So, I mean, some people even believe animal products cause cancer. Who knows? What do you think?
I think that everyone's biochemistry is completely different.
Your microbiome.
Everyone's microbiome is different. You're a unique snowflake.
Yeah.
But we're
You're a
creating
snowflake, bro?
No, we're just
I don't know what. It's interesting. I mean, so like the whole COVID thing, like they would say, okay, if you have your cancer, like you're very susceptible, like watch out. I mean, I was in Miami. My friend was diagnosed with COVID and he was like, bro, you might have, I was like, dude, I don't think I do. I never had it. Not one time. Knock
My
on wood.
receptionist had COVID just like 2 days ago. I said, come to work. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just joking.
Yeah.
Don't get nervous. Although she did really. Of course, we sent her home. But my assistant had it. I know several people that had it where I hung around them. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Of course, I never get the flu either. I never get sick. I'm like an anomaly.
That's why it's hard to listen to doctors. They can't say like, you're going to be like this, but there's billions of people and everyone's completely different. You know, they say like for the tumors that I had, they say that 99.9% of these tumors are not fully removed from the brain and that the survival rate is literally less than 1%. That the amount of people who go beyond 5 years is like very slim to none. There's a guy that I know, his name is Greg Cantwell. His diagnosis was like worse than mine. They said, you got a few months left. He's been fine for 14 years and he did quality eating and keto for 2 years. Now he's just back to like eating regular American food. Nothing's there. That's it. So it's just super like unknown in those things. And that's why I think the belief aspect is like more important than almost all of them.
Yeah, well, like I had a guy on one time, Stefan Arnio. You know him? You ever heard of him?
I've heard the name. I don't know.
Yeah, cool dude. But he came in, he went in the jungles of Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah.
And came out and all his cancer was gone. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, yeah, you know, screw food and, you know, medicine and, you know, he beat cancer and all that. And then one day he called, dude, it looked like he was a freaking jaundiced skeleton. And I looked at my friend and I said, dude, he won't be here in a month. I bet you anything. And the guy goes, why? I go, dude, I saw a skeleton when I was talking to him, a jaundiced skeleton. Passed.
Wow.
Cancer came back and ripped him a new one. And supposedly tested, was gone. It was gone. So like, dude, keep those freaking exams up. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get tempted.
Yeah.
And freaking, hopefully in 10 years, you can come back here and be like, shit, I'm still kicking.
Guarantee 100%. I'll be back here in 5 years.
And by the way, just so everybody knows, we're all going to die, folks. That's why people always, you know, if someone dies, imagine this, because this is what I kind of like hope is the case. Now imagine like right now, since I'm an old man and y'all are youngsters, that I die. And let's say you live another 50 years and you die. And then your children live another 60 years and they die. Imagine if when you get there, there is no such thing as time. So the second I die, I see my children right next to me. Why? Well, because they died too. Yeah, but like they lived another 70 years, but up there, no time. So it's almost like, what if you get there and everybody's there? Because there is no time. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To where like, because the only thing I'd be sad if I died is because I'm going to miss everybody. Well, what if when I die, time is no longer a part like what we think it is, and everybody's there? Then would you be sad?
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
No.
I'd be like, freaking, who cares? And then you know, have a whole better existence while we are here.
Yeah.
Right? Being positive, being grateful, appreciating every second, every moment, and using what I say, common sense, like cut out the sugars, cut out the shit, cut out the pharmaceuticals. I believe that a lot of the medicines, you know, it may solve one thing, but it causes another.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy. That's what they would give me for chemo, like for brain cancer. They don't.
See, I'd never do chemo.
Yeah, well, they don't inject it in you. It's more of this thing like, hey, like we're gonna just.
You realize the success rate of chemo?
Oh, it's like slim to none.
Yeah. So why do they all prescribe it?
It's unknown. It's
the only thing doctors can actually get commission on, FYI.
Oh,
and that makes everyone
absolutely.
go, oh, like these doctors are mean. They're not mean, folks. They believe what they're doing. I totally believe that. I don't think they're doing it for commission. But coincidentally, chemo, they get commission on, and they give it to anybody. They recommend it to anybody, or at least most doctors, and it doesn't work for hardly anybody. So just my advice, I'd go to some alternative doctors and some holistic doctors and some, like Dr. Sebi. You ever heard of Sebi? I believed that dude. Like that dude, I believe, figured out that we shouldn't be dying of cancer. It's what we're eating. I think it was, who said, let our food be thy medicine and the medicine be thy food. Mm-hmm. Was it Socrates?
Yeah.
The food is the trick, folks.
Yeah, I had another doctor, and I was like, hey, this is what this doctor said. Okay, this is what I'm doing. What do you think? He said, dude, if you do what you're saying, you're going to be fine. Like, don't even worry about it if you really are serious about what you say you're doing. And I'm like, wow, again, it's two completely different people, different approaches, but all talking about the same problem. And you know what's crazy is the price for people going through brain cancer to get surgery, radiation, chemo, MRIs, check-in, and repeated MRIs for the rest of their life, $1.5 million. And the amount of people who can't cover that is like less than 1%.
Yeah, that's who it was.
So yeah, I mean, it's out of this world. Like hardly anybody can afford that. So it's like, what's the point then? Like it's so much money they're having to give for just the most important things, and stuff doesn't even work. It's chemo, it's radiation. Just drilling the brain is what it is.
Well, chemo destroys all the cells, and they're trying to kill the bad ones. So they destroy them all and hopefully bring back the good ones. But man, it's just I don't know. I don't want to give any advice. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Folks, how can people support you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, you can just look me up on Instagram, Logan Sneed, YouTube as well, Millionaire Momentum, and people can message me whenever they want. I'm always here. That's
Sneed, Sneed. Go to Thank You Cancer, get his book. Go to Amazon, get Thank You Cancer, 30 Days to Realize Nothing is Impossible. If you guys are interested in making some money, apparently he can teach you how to do that. Where do they go for that?
Yeah, fitpreneuracademy.com, or just message me on Instagram as well.
Boom. There you have it, folks. Listen, appreciate you coming in too.
Brad, real quick, can I interrupt you?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I got a gift for you, man. Got you a cigar here. It's an exclusive one.
Oh, nice.
From the hotel.
Oh,
so this is one for you.
What do you mean from the hotel? It's a hotel brand? It's a Bellagio cigar?
Exclusive one.
Awesome. Let's see here. I get my readers on here. Here, let's go. Dude, hey, I'll never turn down a good one. Appreciate you, bro.
I had to have you, remember this this episode, and really, I know you enjoy your cigars.
Indeed. I appreciate that, dude. I should have got you something.
No, dude. Hey, you brought me here, man. That's all it is. That's all I care about.
Well, I appreciate it, folks, and I do not advise smoking cigars. I heard they cause cancer.
Gotta live.
So you're really like trying to harm me, apparently.
Giving you the gifts that you love.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Hey, folks, share this out. Someone might need to hear it. Until next time, keep it real.
Dropping bombs with the real Bradley. Subscribe now.